I don't know if this thing is actually working because there have been few technical issues. Few technical issues, yeah. But let's see. Maybe we can. It seems to be kind of working, but I don't know exactly what happened. The YouTube channel is not showing as active. Let me say something like hello. I want to see if that's posted on. Yes, it is. Well, okay, then I think we're fine. Yeah, I think we're fine then. Okay, good. I don't know, the chat is not showing, but it's fine, it's fine. Okay, guys, I think we are ready. Let's go. Let's go. Did you miss me in the last 2 days? No, eh? Okay, that's fine. Hello everyone, and good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another stream of Playing Shift, the game that was never finished, but actually is released. This screenshot is the same screenshot of the other day, so I guess that we didn't refresh the page. We didn't refresh the page. There is a different screenshot, a different place in our world. Oh yeah, very old one, but still very good. It's a very special location inside the temple of one of our gods. Yup. Hello, Fabio. Hi. Hello. So I think it will not be easy today, right, to avoid speaking about politics, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you want to say something, I mean, on the election, on the presidential election, I understand. No problem. Usually we don't speak politics here because it's a boring topic. But yeah. I mean, Trump is the new US president, right? And I guess all of you know it by now. And he won very decisively, so he won with a very kind of a big gap. I mean, if you look at the vote numbers, right, is not that insane, right? It's like 67 millions versus 72 millions, right? So it's, yeah, I mean, it's big, but it's not. But obviously, if you look at the map and the states, considering that US has this idea, has this rule, basically to if you win a state even by 1 vote, you get a certain amount of electoral votes, they call it, let's say a score, right? And you get the whole state. So, and that state, depending on the population, has different value, right? So there are certain states, like if you go here to Pennsylvania, is like 19 points, let's call it for a second, right? While I don't know, Alaska is only 3 points. But yeah, now we still need to understand better what happens, because they have 2 houses, like, so they have 2, like we call in Italy, like chambers, right? So they have the Senate and the lower house. So we need to understand what happens here. But it seems that anyway, there is a very strong representation there as well. So yeah, so this is what is happening today. There are people crying of joy, people crying of pain, you know, like everything that is so important and so felt. So yeah, that's it. Winners gonna win, gonna be happy. Losers gonna be sad. It's fine. I think that anyway, it's better to have one candidate, you know, winning strongly than no one winning, right? So having a situation where it's not clear who won, and maybe there is not enough consensus to actually do stuff, right? So because I think that's important. I think I like people taking decisions. They take decisions, right? And I think that's I mean, they can also take bad decisions sometimes, but I think they take decision. I think that not moving, right, is the worst thing ever. So yeah, so I think that anyway, so the US will have a strong consensus, and so a strong ability to operate. And let's see what happens. Okay. Meanwhile, back to our stuff, right? The important stuff. The very important stuff. We continue with fishing. Let me just switch music and the others stay in the scene. So we continue with fishing, which is a nice, fun mini game, right? I'm trying to make it with good quality, because I want this to be fun and also kind of lasting, right? I don't want that to, I mean, I don't want to have to retouch it immediately or having it like half done, right? I want it to have good quality for this mini game. So let me see if I can find the fishing. What was that? Fishing test. Exactly. Okay, so what we did, I don't really have a roadmap slide. Well, there is kind of a summary slide, but it's not really a roadmap. Like, so, like, what is missing? Oh, wow. There was something I didn't save. Well, we will see. We will see. Okay, this is where we are. So let's check where we are. And obviously, this is a demo environment. Also, this is not our game for the ones just joining now. Just a demo environment where I try to test stuff, right? And in particular, my strong suggestion is always to create a demo environment, separate environment when you have to develop a new feature. Otherwise, you go crazy just recompiling and spending time, waiting machine time, right? So we can press F to enter fishing mode, which is this, and we can press F again to exit from fishing mode. Then when we are in fishing mode, we can move the camera, look around to a certain extent, right? So it's not like you see that here I hit a kind of a wall, right? So I cannot go more than this. Also going high or low, I cannot go I can go pretty much like this. So I think it makes sense, give a sense of vision all around, and I can also zoom in and zoom out. And then I can cast my fishing rod holding C. The more I hold, the farthest it goes, and I can recast my rod at any time, right? If I want. And the camera is automatically adapting to it. So the mini game at the moment is made in 2 phases. So a first phase where there is that golden circle, and then another phase where actually the bobber moves on the water, right? So that is the first one. So I'm just trying to understand if I forgot to save something, because it looks interesting. So it's not restoring, it's not resetting the number of
Got it. Got it.
That's not nice. I think we lost something, unfortunately. I think we lost something because which is strange though, because I mean, I don't think we lost much, but it seems to me that so I already had the bobber with higher speed, but I don't have the bobber with the. Let me double check again. But yeah, with the
Got it.
-2. Fuck. We may have lost few things. I don't know exactly why, but I see that this is not exactly how it was. In particular, I have to you know, put my mind back into this because I didn't touch it in few days. Actually, let me do this, which is the easiest way to remember what we were doing. Let me open up my own old stream, right? The latest that we did. I think not the latest, because the latest we worked on other stuff, right? We worked on the fishing baits, right? On crafting baits. So I think that this stream is completely on so let me just check where I start. Yeah, I started from there. So we didn't even touch the code, right? So the last time we didn't even touch the code at all. Okay. So the previous stream though, so not that one but this one, right? I just want to be sure that Here I was already thinking to the bait side, so I was not working on the mini game here. Okay, and if you are confused with what you are seeing, I'm just watching back my own stream, right? Because I want to remember where I ended up. Yes, we were on choose fish and difficulty, right. So we were working on this, and this is where, yeah, exactly. Now I kind of remember. So there should be choose fish and difficulty. Exactly. Mean quality, max quality. Exactly. So actually, no, actually it is correct then. Because this was before, right? This was before this change where we added the minimum quality, maximum quality, minimum weight, maximum weight. So here we did quite some stuff, you know, after this. So I think we are... But why that file is not... It's kind of weird. Here it is, because I did it... Okay, so this is really the last thing that we did on it. Let me just see one thing, because I'm confused just about the... Okay, let me see. Let me see, there is the previous video. So at the end I removed the thing. Yeah, it's exactly identical. Okay, good. I understand. So no, we didn't lose anything. Actually, that's the way I did it. Okay. So there seems to be a problem. There was already here. You see this -2? I think there was already a problem the last time that the when you cast again, the minigame is not...
Got it.
resetting. And here the -2 is actually correct, but then if I cast again, it's not starting from -2. Yeah, you see, the first one is thrown back. So there are some variables. Let me see. There is something that is not cleaned properly. End game. End game. Yes, because we did this change. Yep. Remember that. Number of circle shrinks. Move game result, which starts from 0. Current number of moves. So I need to check that current number of moves and move game results are both initialized properly on cast. Is the music too loud? It's too loud. I mean, it's nice music, but It's too loud. Okay. Unfortunately, not all the songs have the same volume, so that's the problem. So some songs are just louder. Um, mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Where is that reset happening? Ah, here. Move game result is set at 0 and current of number moves is actually also set at 0. Interesting. So that seems to be reset. Then my question is, why when I cast the second time, right? Why when I cast the second time, I go pretty much directly into endgame? Let me put a breakpoint here. Let me put a breakpoint here because I want to understand why this happens. We may redo the bobber. I'm not very happy about the bobber. I think it looks a bit weird. So the first time works, so I have no issue with that. Circle shrink 3, current move 0, game results not. So I think we can just play, right? And then here is doing it again. We are losing because we are at -2 already. But the second time, right? Which is now.
Got it.
Just let it go. And okay, the floater state, the fish bite. The number of circle shrink is 2. Fine. Current number of moves is 0. Move game result. Yeah, that is the problem. Why move game result is already -1? Move game result. Why move game result is already -2, -1. Because we decremented it before entering here. Yeah, but anyway, this should not, right? Should not trigger the lose. Yeah, exactly. Should not trigger the lose. Exactly. Can I close this? No. Okay. Well, thank you. So now at the second one, yes. Huh? This is super strange. No, it's not. It's not. It's definitely not working as it should. It's definitely not working as it should, boys. There is something.
Got it.
No.
Got it.
Okay, this was correct because actually he waited 2 moves.
Got it.
But this one is not correct. So if I press,
Got it.
yeah, if I press, that's automatically a loss. This kind of strange, but can I close this? Yeah, thank you. If I press, in this case, I'm pressing W, right? Because we know that we have to go up when the bobber is going down. So I press this, and this becomes an instant loss. Which is super strange.
Got it.
So let me see what it's doing here. Are we in floater state fish bite? The answer is yes. Press to catch. Okay. So we go here, we catch the fish on circle indicator. We didn't catch it in time, I assume. So the answer is no, right? So move game result, which at the moment is 0, we move it to -1, right? And that's fine. So we'll go to -1. But to exit, you know, we need a -2, as we said. So this should not be enough to make this thing exit. Should not be. Okay, I understand. This num of circle shrinks is not the total number, but is the current number. And so here is saying there is only one circle shrink left. So this means that this one is not. This means that this one is not updated yet. I mean updated then. So this one is not reset. Yeah, exactly. This one is not reset. Okay, I see. It's not reset. Okay. So that's the reason. That's the reason. So we should ensure that that one is always reset, right? So the number of circles should always be part of the difficulty of the game. And okay, so at the moment we have two parameters, right? We have this one, which is the minimum quality and maximum quality. And we have the weight, right? So based on these two parameters, we may decide how hard or easy will be. So these two parameters are both between 0 and 1. Do I want to do the average of them, or do I want to do the... I think I have to do the average, right? That's the only way, right? So I have to sum them up and divide it by 2 for the overall difficulty of our game. Correct? So we do this plus this divided by 2. And so this will be the average of the two difficulty parameters, right? So now that we have that, so let's say that if I have 0.5 and 0.5, the average is 0.5, right? But if I have 0.5 and 0, my average is 0.25, so it's an easier game. If I have 0.5 and 1, I have 0.75, which is a higher. Yeah, I think it should be linear. I think it can be linear. I mean, obviously, the quality, because here we are not defining the type, right, of the fish. We are defining the quality of the fish, right? And in theory we have a third parameter, which is the type or not. Well, yeah, we have the type within a certain group of fishes, because as we said, in one location, right, in one location I can have this fish or this fish, right? But they already come with percentages. They already come with percentages. So the probability. So if I roll another dice, right, which is my probability of fish type, right? If I roll another dice, and so let me make it a bit more explicit, right? So this is the quality, right? We usually ranges from 0 to 50, but here I think we said from 25 to 75 as a default, right? Yeah, this is what we said. We can change it, but it's just an indication for now. Then this one is the weight, right? And we said that at the moment is ranging between 0.5 and 1. This one for sure it will have to be changed, right? Because actually this one depends on the type of fish, right? So yeah, exactly. So actually we have to generate first the type of fish and then decide a weight, because this will be based on the type of fish. So I would say we need to just rand a random float, and the random float by default is between 0 and 1, right? And this will be the percentage, this will be the fish type, right? The fish type based on the available one at this location. Based on the available ones at this location, right? So this is what it is. Yeah, exactly. And this will actually come in our game from the server. The server will tell us, oh, we roll a dice, right? And these are the fishes that you can actually fish here. And the highest, right, the rarest. Now, I don't know if we want to do, because this will actually result. So let's say that we have 70% and 30%, like we have in this case, right? We have a 70% of a carp and 30% of a lionfish. So actually, right, if I roll 75, let's say, right, I am in the lionfish area. If I roll 75, but if I look, but if I roll 0.69, let's say, I'm in the carp, but 0.69 and 0.1 is still a carp, right? So how do I factor in this? into my formula, right? To make it a rarity parameter. I cannot take the raw randomized value, because if I take 0.69 and 0.1, they are the same fish, and I don't want that to be different in terms of right, in terms of rarity, in terms of difficulty of the mini game. So, well, I mean, we can have some variability, but not that much. So I'm not really sure math-wise what I have to do. Do I always take the average? I mean the midpoint of the category? So like if it's 0.7, I always take 0.35. Probably yes. Yes, I have to take the I have to take the average. So basically this is done in two steps, right? So one step is to roll the dice and find the fish type, right? And this will give me, and then based on the fish type, I get my 0.35 or 0.85, which are the two midpoints, right, of those two categories. Yeah, I think that's probably what I have to do. So okay, so just as a simulation, obviously this is not correct, right? But just as a simulation, we can say that if this is less than 0.7, right, this will be one fish, and this will have to be redone in our game, right? Because this prototype is not connected to the database, right? But if so, at the moment we are hard coding a bit these values, but I will dismantle it soon. So if it's less than 0.7, then my actual type difficulty, let's call it, type difficulty factor, my type difficulty factor will be 0.35, right, which is the midpoint between 0 and 0.7. And then if not, my type difficulty factor will be 0.85, which is the midpoint of the remaining 30%, right? So having that, what I can do, I can now set the final difficulty, right? So the final difficulty will be, so let's call it final difficulty factor, right? Final difficulty factor. So the final difficulty factor will be this plus my type difficulty factor divided by 3, right? And Exactly. So this one is my, I mean, I can make it a variable as well. I don't know if it's really needed because in reality I mean, this can be local variables, right? I don't think I need them outside of this, but that's fine. Let's keep them as variables. So this will be the weight difficulty factor, and this will be the quality, right? The quality difficulty factor. Okay. Okay. Right. So with this, I can now just calculate my final difficulty factor, right? Which is just those three parameters, the average of those three parameters, right? So to really get the maximum, you need to get like a 1, 1, 1, right? If you get 1, 1, 1, then is the maximum. You get the hardest difficulty possible, right? Okay. Now, basically based on this parameter here, we have to decide the rules of the minigame. Which is not very easy, actually. It's not very easy, but because we need to basically give a weight to the different things, like the velocity of the thing, how many times it moves, right? So we have all these parameters here. So we can make them all linear if we want. You can say, oh, the speed goes between this and this, but I don't know if making it linear overall is a good idea. Good question, actually. I don't know. So for example, I can take my final difficulty factor and divide it by 3, right? And decide between 1 and 3 circles. I think more circles, the more there are, the hardest it is, right? So I can say that I take my final difficulty factor, which is a float, right? I divide it by 3. I round it. How do I round it? I think I have to round it up, right? Can I round up? I can seal. No, but I mean, I need to seal it by... wait, I need... what? I multiply by 3. What? What should I do? I multiplied by 3, and then I seal it. Yeah, exactly. So for example, if it is 0.25, right? If this thing is Difficulty factor is 0.25, right? Multiplied by 3 will be 0.75, which the ceiling of that is 1, right? If I go 0.50, the ceiling will be 2. If I go 75, it will be 3, right? So I think it kind of works. So it's never 0, right? It's never 0. It can be 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this, yeah, this will decide how many circles will appear. Then how fast does the circle disappear? How fast does the circle disappear? Corresponds to playback speed of the 1 second animation. Ah, okay. Okay. So the fastest, so it is the reverse, right? So the lower is this number, the hardest it is. The lower is this number, the hardest it is. And I think it should be a reasonable value though. I mean, we cannot go, so I think the variation there should not be crazy, right? Maybe can go between 1.5 and 0. Well, 0.5 I think is already very, very hard. I mean, we can try, we can tweak the numbers, right? But the point is, so if I want to scale this by, if I want to scale this difficulty factor, it is 0.1. First of all, I need to reverse it, right? I need to do 1 minus. I need to do 1 minus that. So if I do 1 minus that, yes, that is reverse, right? Assuming that that is between 0 and 1. So now that is reversed, so the lowest is the hardest, like we want here. I want to scale it between 0.5 and 1.5, let's say, right? How do I do that? I just add 0.5. Why? If I add 0.5, my 0 will become 0.5, which is correct. My 1 will become 1.5, which is correct. Yeah, exactly. I just add 0.5, yeah. Incredible, this time was easy. Okay, then, so this will be my circle speed, right? Then, and we will have to print all these out because otherwise, this is the percentages which you have to catch the circle. Now, this one, I don't want to make it too hard actually because, and also I would like probably to make it kind of consistent. So this probably will not change. Yeah, I think we change the speed, but we don't change this guy. And I would do a kind of a 35% of the circle, right? Which I think it should feel, would be very nice if the circle changed color based on the percentage, right? It would be so much more understandable. And then we have this one. I think these ones are more important than this one actually. So because these ones are basically how many mistakes you can do, right, in the mini game. Because if you is in the second part of the mini game, because we say it requires 5 moves to win, but there are 10 moves allowed, right? So 5 correct moves over 10, right? So you can have 5 mistakes, which is a lot. So here I basically need to do what? I need to scale my number on this, where this one is the highest, the hardest. So we are back to the normal factor, not the reverse factor, right? And I have to multiply my number by the I need, well, there should be a minimum, right? So I guess that we have this plus something, which is the minimum moves that we want, right? How many minimum moves we want? No, but first I need to multiply, yeah? Otherwise it's not working, I guess. So I need to multiply by... I need to multiply to reach my maximum minus the minimum moves. Yeah. So how many minimum moves we want? Well, let's say... I mean, one would be very lame, right? I think one would be too lame. So I think we can have a minimum of 3 moves, from 3 to 10, something like that. So very, very easy fishes. We'll have 3, and I think maybe from 3 to 10. So if I do from 3 to 10, then what I have to do, I have to multiply this by 7. And then add 3 on top of this, or not, and then seal this number, and this becomes my required moves. Not completely sure of that, but okay, let's do an example. My mind works in examples. Doesn't work in abstraction. So if the result is 0.5, which is our midpoint, well, let's say with 0.5, which is our midpoint, right? We take 0.5, we multiply it by 7. So the result is 3.5. And the 3.5 gets added to a 3. So it's 6.5. And the 6.5 gets sealed up, and so it would become a 7. So the required moves will be 7 on a range between 3 and 10, which seems to be okay for a midpoint, right? Yeah, and if I am so I think it's correct. And if it's the maximum, so this one is 1, I will do 1 by 7, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, right? And this will be 10. Yeah, so this is correct, actually. There is max move minus mean moves, right? Pretty much. So this will range between at the moment this ranges between 3 and 10. Okay. Now, the only problem I have is that this randomization is linear, right? And if I'm adding 3 parameters and doing the average, are we still in a linear distribution or not? No idea. No idea. But because, you know, in this case, it's kind of you have the same chance, right, to get a very easy fish or a medium fish or a very rare fish. You have the same chance. Well, I mean, apart from the fish type, right? So the fish type is definitely changing that, because we can define in the table that something is 0.7 and something is 0.3. So this is really changing, right? This is really changing. So so one of the three factors definitely definitely is not linear, right? Yeah, but the other two are at the moment, and I don't know if this is really what I want, right? So the idea was to have it on a bell curve. So how do I randomize on a bell curve? Huh? Does that make sense to you guys or not? How do you randomize? So you basically multiply by the curve. We did this reasoning already. I remember that we were discussing about a curve the other day, and then I did what? And then I split it in three, and I made a 3 linear. But it was a slightly different thing, though. Yeah, because I wanted to have, yeah, there was kind of a different. When did I do that? Was the fish wait time? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We did it this way. But the point is, if I want to yeah, I have no idea. Then we need also to factor in the skill of the player, right? So at the moment, this is a linear value. This is not linear because depends on the percentages that we put for the fish type, but this is linear, right? And in addition, we should have the player skill, which is actually countering this difficulty factor. Oh my god. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it should, right? It should. I think that the player skill should not counter it in a linear way. Should probably counter it like in a logarithmic way. Because no, sorry, in an exponential way. Or not. So not much at the beginning and a lot at the end, or vice versa? I would say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet how the skill should be factored into this, but definitely we need to factor the player skill into this. I don't know yet how though. So it is going to make, yeah, I think it's going to reduce this difficulty factor by a certain amount, right? After the fish randomization. And so if my difficulty factor, but my problem is how much, right? If my difficulty factor is like this, do I want to multiply it by something like this or something like this? So a logarithm or an exponential, meaning as my skill goes up, I am influencing more and more and more and more the difficulty, or I'm influencing the difficulty at the beginning a lot and then less and less and less and less as I go. Or do we want also this one linear so that is evenly affecting it? Yeah, probably linear then. But I don't think I can multiply one by the other, right? So assume that my skill is between 0 and 200. Right? My fishing skill is between 0 and 200. So I can bring that back to so let's say that this is the player skill, right? The player skill between 0 and 200 at the moment is 100, right? Which is exactly the average. So I have to convert this to a float, I assume. And then I need to divide it by 200, right? And so this brings it back to a 0 to 1 value, right? And now that I have it in a 0 to 1 value, I want my difficulty factor to go down as my skill factor goes up, right? So what do? I divide one by the other? But does that make sense or no? Is that making it linear or no? So if I have my skill as 150, 100, 150, 200, right? And I do this divided by 200, right? And I do the same for all these other guys. Now I have, this is my skill factor, right? And now I have the difficulty. So for difficulty 0.1, right? So if I do, so the difficulty is 0.1. I have a very shitty skill. So if I do this divided by this, oh wow, I get a, so it's very hard. So it's very hard. If I do this, no, this is not working. Hello, Fanner. Here we go. 2000 points. Easy life. Easy 2000 points. I mean, the fact that it goes up here makes sense, but it doesn't make sense that it goes up. So no, it's not what I need. Is it the opposite? Is that divided by this? No, it's not either. It's not. There is something messed up here. So I want the difficulty to go down. Wait, Does this thing work now? I'm not sure what I'm doing. So what I need my difficulty factor to so this is my difficulty, this is my skill, right? This is my skill, and this is my difficulty. Well, the easiest would be probably to do it this way. So that is my skill, right? And that is my difficulty. So I want so after normalizing the skill by 0.1 and my difficulty by 0.1 as well, right? So that they're basically linear to each other. Now I would like this line, because this line is like this, right? I would like this line to be what? I would like this line to be lower. So as much as my skill goes up, this should go down, but should go down to a reasonable. I mean, the distance between here and here should still be reasonable, right? How do we do this, guys? I need someone good with math. I mean, should even be the reverse, right? That when my skill is very low, so should these two lines like be an X? Like when my skill is very low. Sorry, when my skill is very low, the difficulty, even of a simple thing, right, goes up a lot, or not. If my skill is very low, but the complexity is very low, the game should be even. Yeah, exactly. The game should be average, right? So the game should stay average if the skill compares to the difficulty of the game, while it should diverge, right, if it's not. Exactly. So I need my num. So basically here in the middle, I have a 0.5, I have a 0.5 difficulty and a 0.5 skill, and I want the result to be 0.5. But as soon as my skill goes up, and the difficulty goes down, right, the result should be very easy. So it should be very low, right? So how do I do the so what is the formula for this? Difficulty, skill, so that is the difficulty, this is my this is the difficulty, this is the skill. They all go from 0 to 1, and I said that I want my 0.5, that let's assume is here. I want the 0.5 to be a 0. So 0.5, 0.5 equal to 0.5, right? Skill very low, so skill, let's say 0.1, skill 0.1, difficulty 0.5, right? So what is this point? Skill 0.1, so I have a very low skill and still average difficulty. This should be here, right? This should be here. And no, sorry, I don't, this doesn't compute. This doesn't compute because the difficulty is not 0.5. Because we have two variables. This thing is in 3D, no? I cannot represent an equation with two variables in 2D, right? If I do my diff no, because let's say my z is equal to x plus y, right? This is a 3D graph, no? Because if I do 2x, easy. Why doesn't plot it? Huh? I'm not sure what this is. Why I don't see a line somewhere? Probably because it doesn't understand the... sorry, because the result must be... Yeah, exactly, right. So, yeah, the result must be x otherwise. But if I do... if I do 2x plus z, right, where z... no, because at the end it's just solving it. At the end it's just solving it. I don't understand why. Huh? Why? Why the y variable is not represented? Exactly. Exactly is what I was saying, right? So if you have if you have two variables, is a 3D graph, right? So if I have my skill, so if the x is the result, right? Well, I don't know. X is the result. No, the result is a point in 3D. No? I'm confusing myself, I guess. But the point is that if I have my skill in one axis and the difficulty on the other, and I want to say that when the difficulty is something, right? And the difficulty, so difficulty is something and the skill is something, I get a point in space, right? Right? Exactly, because I have like a point here and a point here. So let's say a point here, pointing here, and a point here, and then I have my z, and my z at the moment is just z, but I could do 3z, right? And that is now, yeah, exactly. This is now way more bent than this. Exactly. And if I do like log z, which I don't know if I can, yes I can, right? Then it's like this, right? So how do I, the problem is, how do I do it? How do I do it that those two parameters are actually one countering the other, right? I need, can I just divide one by the other or something? So if I say that my oh wow, that is fantastic, bro. That is absolutely beautiful. Wow, can you make it more? Can you make it more round? The more I go, the more it becomes. No, so the maximum torsion seems to be. Maximum torsion seems to be 1 divided by the other. Because if I do 2, it starts to be. Ah, wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not really moving much. 70, 10. Oh no, it is moving. So if the division, okay, I understand. So if the division is strong, right, this thing is really to the ground, right, to the floor. To the floor. But yeah, my point is that I want a midpoint which is actually 0.5, and that I have no idea how to do. I think the only solution is to ask ChatGPT. That's the only possibility, my boys. That's the only possibility. Login? Yeah, why not? Yeah. Oh, fuck. What did we log in with? We logged in with my normal account? I don't know. Looks like. Okay. I have a problem. I have a math problem to solve. Right? I have a math problem to solve. I have so let's say I have 2 parameters. player skill and game difficulty. Right? Player skill. I have player skill and game difficulty. I want. Right? These are predetermined. Well, okay. The fact that these are predetermined, I don't care. But both range between 0 and 1 floating point, right? So I want to calculate the final difficulty. Well, it's not really, I'm not really explaining it right. So, I mean, it's not really that I have two parameters. So I have, let's say I have a game difficulty factor calculated already, right? This results in a value between 0 and 1 floating point. Now I want to change to influence, right? Influence the difficulty based on the player skill, which is also from 0 to 1, right? And I want the player skill to influence the yeah, this is exactly I want the player skill to lower the difficulty linearly. I'm not sure what I want, actually. That's the problem. I want the player skill to lower the difficulty linearly, but there should be, no, it's not to lower, right? I want a player skill to basically lower the difficulty if higher, right? And increase it if lower. I want the player skill to lower the difficulty if the player skill is higher than the difficulty, and increase the difficulty if the player skill is lower than, no, sorry. On this player skill to lower the difficulty if the player skill is higher, and increase the difficulty if the player skill is lower than the difficulty. The midpoint should be 0.5. So if I have player skill 0.5 and difficulty 0.5, then the result should be 0.5. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. I don't know. You can achieve this by using a simple formula to shift the difficulty level based on the player skill level. There's a formula you can use. Adjusted difficulty plus player skill minus difficulty multiplied by 2, multiplied by difficulty again, multiplied by 1 minus difficulty. Why? Alright. So if I have if I have difficulty 0.5 and I say player skill, this becomes 0. Okay, this multiplied by 0 and this becomes 0.5. Okay, that's fine. But if I have difficulty 0.1 and player skill 0.9, right? And player skill 0.9. This will be 0.9 minus 0.1, so 0.8. 0.8 multiplied by 2 will be 1.6. So 1.6 multiplied again by the difficulty. I mean, why? I have no idea. 1.6 multiplied again by the difficulty we said is 0.1. And then everything multiplied by 1 minus the difficulty, which will be multiplied by 0.9, right? By 0.9. This will be 0.144, which is not what I asked. Right? In the formula above, if I have difficulty 0.1 and player skill 0.9, what is the result? If it's 0.144 is not what I asked, because it should be lower, not higher. 0.2, probably because I missed the 2 actually. I missed the multiply by 2, but yeah. 0.244. This shows a moderate increase in difficulty due to the higher player skill. No, it's exactly the opposite, you stupid. And that's wrong. The higher the player skill, the lower the difficulty. You are right. Yeah, I'm right, but difficulty multiplied by 1 minus the player skill. Difficulty multiplied by 1 minus the player skill plus the player skill multiplied by 1 minus the difficulty. So one is the reverse of the other with the... Yeah, probably this may work actually. With the divided formula, the difficulty is 0.1, the player skill is 0.9, the just difficulty will be approximately 0.82. What? He's messing up like a boss. What the fuck? He's saying, with the revised formula, if the difficulty is 0.1 and the player skill is 0.9, the adjusted difficulty would be 0.82. This reflects a lower difficulty. How can 0.82 be lower difficulty on a range of 0 to 1? I mean, it's just plain wrong. He cannot do it. Difficulty multiply. The formula is becoming simpler and simpler. So it's just reverting and multiplying. Okay, yeah, reverting and multiplying. I think it works. No? We revert and multiply. Yeah, we revert and multiply. Exactly, it's what we should do. We reverse, right, and multiply. If we reverse and multiply, I think it kind of works. Because 0.1 multiplied by another 0.1, 0.1 multiplied by another 0.001, right? Yeah, 0.001. So you're making it 10 times easier. You're making it 10 times easier with a skill that is about 10 times higher. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's just this. I think it's just this. But this means that it's very linear. Can you visualize a graph with that function. You know that now ChatGPT can also do graphs? That's very nice. I tested it the other day. It was actually working. No, we finished the money. No, we finished the money. Fuck. Okay, we finished the money. But basically, going back to this, right? If that is true, and again, x is my final result, and x is my final result. I don't know, in 3D I cannot really, but and we are saying that this multiplied by 1 minus z, right? Is this what is this what we said? Yeah. Which is very similar to what I did before, but anyway, I mean, at least visually. So this means that if my skill is 0.5 and my x is 0.5, my z will be, I don't know, it's very hard to calculate, but let's assume that is 0.5, right? Can you draw a point on this? Like x equal to 0.5, y equal to 0. Okay, can you paint a vector? That would be very nice. Ah, you can. That is 0.5. Ah, because this is on a scale of 5. Okay. It's on a scale of 5, so it will be 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Doesn't. I mean, I was expecting the point to be here, right? On the red surface, no? I mean, why is doing it negative? That's kind of weird. So I have to do minus something to get where I want. And it's not even. And even if I do minus, it's not correct. Which is very weird. Why this point is not on the surface? If this formula is actually correct? That's strange, huh? So we have to go down to 2 to be on the surface. Why we have to go down to 2 to be on the surface if the middle point between 0 and 5 is 2.5? I don't know. That's a bit weird. That's a bit weird, right? Because my... So 0.5, so 0.5 multiplied by 1 minus 0.5, which is 0.5, right? 0.5 multiplied by 0.5. 0.5 multiplied by 0... Oh, no, it's not working though. Oh, fuck, no, the middle point is wrong. No! Yeah, exactly. The middle point is 0. Yeah, exactly. No, why the middle point is fucked? This formula is not working for the middle point, my friend. You fucked up again. ChatGPT, you fucked up again. I mean, you helped me a bit, but... what is the result with 0.5 difficulty and 0.5 player skill? Is 0.25. Exactly. No, I don't need the graph. I don't need the graph. I don't need the graph. Exactly. I wanted the middle point to be 0.5, not 0.25. So the curve is too aggressive. The curve is too aggressive. Difficulty plus player skill minus 0.5 multiplied by 0.5 minus difficulty. Oh my god. Okay, I trust you. So this is in our other graph is what? In our other graph is y and z. So this will be y, z, and y again, right? So in our graph it will be like this. Now it went up. Okay. So if I do 2.5, no, fuck it. Still not working. It's still not working because the graph is not going through that. Fuck. Wait. Z, so if I do 0.5 minus 0.5 is 0. 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So it doesn't make any difference. And the y is 0.5. And so yeah, the result should be 0.5 actually. Yeah, in the middle it should be 0.5 now. I don't know why it's not, but in theory it is. So if I do 0.4, so if I have a skill, let's say that my skill is slightly above, right? So it's 0.6 with a 0.5. So this is 0.5. Wait, let me do this, otherwise I go completely crazy. I'm calculating useless stuff when I can just do it with Excel, which is much easier. So my y will be the is multiplied, right? Yeah. So the y is what? The what? The y is the skill. No, the y is the difficulty. So the y is the difficulty. So we said difficulty is this one. Oh my god. So we do this plus open parenthesis this minus 0.5 close multiply by open 0.5 minus difficulty again, which is this. So if I have a skill, if I have a low skill, oh my god, here is becoming negative though. How can it become negative? Because I have a minus. So if the skill is lower than the difficulty, what? No, this thing is not working. This thing is not working. 1.20. So it's going between. I mean, 0505 is actually 05, which is nice, right? So this one is correct, let's say. This one is what we, oh my god. This one is what we want, right? But as soon as I go to 1, I go to 1 skill, and I keep my difficulty 05, this doesn't freaking change, right? So is the formula correct or not? Because I don't think it's correct. Because here in the graph, in theory, it should always be a curve, so it cannot stay still. I don't think it can linearly go. I mean, it cannot have this value stand still with my value going up, no? I think it's impossible. Or is it? 0.5 minus difficulty. 0.5 minus difficulty. Player skill. Player skill minus 0.5. Skill minus 0.5. Difficulty plus. No, it doesn't work, boys. As usual, ChatGPT is giving us ideas that seems to be correct, but they're wrong. Fuck. Because here the result is not between 0 and 1, right? The result is very strange. The result is that the higher my, I mean, I don't understand how it's possible though. Why, if the difficulty is the same and my skill is higher, right? This thing should go down, no? Because it's 0.5 is 1 minus 0.5, so this becomes 0.5, and this is 0.5 minus 0.5 becomes 0. Because this becomes 0. Fuck. Because this becomes 0, and so when it's 0, it destroys everything because it's a multiplication. Yeah, and this is why. Yeah, but 0.75 minus 0.5, 0.25. 0.25 multiplied by 0.25 multiplied by 0.5 minus I don't understand how it doesn't move, but fine. Because this becomes 0. Because this is always 0. Fuck it. Yeah, on this line, yeah, sorry, on this line, this is always 0. It's not working, bro. It's not the right formula. It looks kind of okay, but it's not. But with difficulty 0.5 and skill 1, the result is wrong. You might have. You are right. My previous formula doesn't correctly enter cases when this case is set at the extreme. What do you mean? Now it's going 1 minus. Instead of... It's going difficulty minus 1 minus. Bro, decide yourself. You are the computer, not me. It's going difficulty minus, and then it's going player skill minus, okay, and then it's multiplied by 1 minus the difficulty. So that is what it's saying now. It still looks completely fucked. It still looks completely fucked, my boys. Completely fucked. Because now he has the other problem, right? When he's 0.5 on... Well... wait. So very low difficulty So very low skill, kind of low difficulty, but higher than the skill, right? So it becomes 0.5. So this seems to be okay, actually. Our midpoint, so let me see. Our midpoint is okay. This, I don't know, logically seems to be fine. But why we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 everywhere here? So if the difficulty is 1 and my skill is super low, yeah, we are at 1. Okay, because probably this should not be 1, but should be like 0.9 or something, right? Yeah, to show a difference. I think that now it may be working. The only problem is that this value becomes negative. Oh, fuck. Why? Why becomes negative? Because this is directionally okay. But why becomes negative here? Because the difficulty is higher than the skill. And so when I do that minus 0.5, the difficulty is higher than the skill. Yeah, but here we go negative. It's surely better. But you can get negative values when the difficulty is higher than the skill. When the difficulty, no, when the difficulty, so why becomes negative here? Because here is 1 minus 0.1, which is 0.9, and that is 0.75 minus 0.5, which is also positive, but yeah, it's greater than the overall difficulty. So at high skills and low difficulty, you go negative. No. What do you mean a bounding step? No, that's a very bad idea. That's a very bad idea. I don't want to have a minimum and max because then you are gauging. You are like gating it. I don't know how to say. You are smashing it at a certain level. I think. I mean, this should be a solution actually because this curve, right? I don't think that this curve is negative, right? Well, it's negative on this axis, but because the midpoint is in a stupid place. But now with this new, let me put that in the 3D graph just for the sake of understanding what the hell is going on. So it's saying z minus 0.5 plus 1 minus multiplied by 1 minus y, right? So here we basically move the wall graph. Yeah, exactly. We move the wall graph. We move the wall graph into one quadrant, which is very nice, but you see the midpoint is completely fucked. Why the midpoint is here instead of being here? Huh? That is super weird. Why the midpoint is here? I mean the inflection point, right? If I do -1, what happens? If I do -1, the inflection. So what is the difference? So between 0.5 and 1. No, that is not really helping. Because it is the size, it is the amount of bending of the curve. Is not the. And if I add. No. And if I add 0.5 at the end, what happens? Nothing. Because I think he's adding it vertically. I think this is probably acting vertically, right? No. Why doesn't it make any difference? Huh? If I do +1, it's not changing anything in the graph? 1.5. And now it's moving it. .5 is moving it. 2. Well, this would be 2.5 because my range. Can I have a range? Wait. Can I have a range between 1 and how do I define the range here? Axis, yeah, perfect. -1 to 1, exactly. -1 to 1, right? -1 to 1, okay. So the problem of this. Is going over. I mean, the overall size is greater than. No, it's not bending right now. Nothing. This formula is fucked. It's not bending in the right place, and it's going over. As you can see here, it's going over. This is why we have negative values, right? Because it's going. The graph is bigger than. The graph is bigger. So if I want the graph to be smaller, can I? No, I'm not. No, I'm not happy about this. Holy shit, he went balls. He went completely balls. How sharply? I don't want it sharply. I want it just normal. Oh fuck. We are not solving it, boys. We are not solving this. Oh my god, why? Why? I mean, logically, it doesn't seem too hard, right? To say that as my difficulty grows, I want the player skill required, to go higher as well. So if the difficulty is higher than my player skill, it basically reverses, right? But it seems that it's not good. It's not a good concept. Well, we could do that. The difficult way. I'm thinking we can simplify it somehow, right? So because the problem is the inflection of this the inflection of this curve when it switches, right? That's the problem. So if the midpoint is 0.5, because he has to switch, I still don't understand why it's not possible to have it normal, right? So that this is 0.9 and this is 0.1. I don't understand why that is not possible. Why is not possible that this is 0.1? Why? Why? 0.05. Let me see. This is my skill. This is a very low skill, very high difficulty. And as my skill goes up, the difficulty goes down. But it doesn't go down enough though. Because here we are at skill. Nah, it doesn't fucking work. Now this formula is completely fucked. I mean, not completely, right? Because this should be 0.75, right? This should be 0.9. I mean, isn't that just one divided by the other? No, because then it switches. How can I say that a 0.9, a 0.9 and a 0.9, the result is... Ah, no, it cannot be 0.9, sorry. No. The result will be... The result is not... No, the result cannot be 0.9. Because 0.9 is minus than 1 and 0.9 is minus than 1, right? So... Oh, fuck. I don't know what I want. That's the problem. I don't know what I want. Do I want that when my skill is 0.9, difficulty is 0.9, then the result is 0.9? Yes, I think yes. I think yes, right? So this should be 0.9, this should be 0.75. Ah, no. This should be 0.5. This should be 0.5. So yeah, if they are identical, I'm back to the midpoint, right? Is this what we want, guys? Right? So that they are always comparing each other, right? And if... so yeah, so to obtain this, what I have to do, I have to do... Because here we do 1 minus and multiply. I think it's the multiplication that fucks up everything. But yeah, I would like basically to have it this way, right? So that if the skill and the difficulty are the same, the result is the same. Okay, let's try again. Start from scratch. If the difficulty and the skill are the same, the result should always be 0.5, which means an average difficulty. If the player's skill is lower, well, I can also do an if, you know, I can also do an if and GG, but I mean, I have two functions, right? I have two functions and they just switch, but I don't understand why I cannot do it, because that would probably be the easiest at the end, right? I say if they are the same number, but why I cannot do it with a formula? If the player's skill is lower than the difficulty, then the difficulty goes up. 0.5 plus the player skill minus the difficulty multiplied by 0.5. Zero 0.5 plus what? Huh? 0.5 plus the player skill minus the difficulty. Player skill minus the difficulty multiplied by 0.5. First of all, it doesn't work. I mean, it's close, but it's not too bad. But 0.75 and 0.75, okay. 0.75 and 0.9. So I have my skill that is 0.75 and the difficulty that is 0.9. The difficulty should go up and instead it goes down. So it's actually wrong. I think we need two formulas, guys. I think we need to do if is higher, do this. If is lower, do that. Because it doesn't seem that we reach a reasonable. It is the ABS of it or what? I think it is the ABS of it. Instead of multiplying by 0.5, it is multiplying by 1 minus my difficulty per 0.5. We entered in a tunnel, guys. We entered into a tunnel. And this tunnel is kind of hard. Is there an ABS or what the fuck is that? I mean, it's very similar. But still we get negative values. It's very similar, eh? But still, if my skill is lower, wait a second. What is this guy saying? If the skill is 1 and the difficulty is 0.5, the skill is 1, difficulty is 0.5, right? Yeah, exactly. The result will be less than 0.5? I don't think so. What is this pipe notation in math? Huh? Is the ABS, no? Yeah, exactly. is the ABS. It is exactly what I did. I did ABS of that. So I don't understand how the stupid ChatGPT can say that this is sorry with skill equal to 1 and difficulty 0.5, difficulty equal to 1. Oh fuck, I'm copying from there. No, that's a total GG. No, no. Okay, now it's correct. Did I fuck up here as well? Well, in reality, the values are the same, so, you know, in reality, it does work. Yeah, in reality, the values are exactly the same. But anyway, so with with a value of 1, right? And a difficulty of 0.5, with a skill of 1 and a difficulty of 0.5, the result is 1. He's saying, I see the issue now. I understood the way you want the difficulty to adjust based on skill. What the fuck you mean? It's 1 hour. You misunderstood. What the fuck you misunderstood? So now he's saying 0.5 plus difficulty minus 0.5. Oh my god, it's going, you know? One way is swinging one way or another all the time. Difficulty minus 0.5 multiplied by 1 minus the ABS of what? Of player skill, okay, minus 0.5. Okay. Completely wrong. You cannot fucking do it. No, wait. Completely wrong, I don't know. 0.75, so we said that 0.75 should be 0.75, but it's not. 109. So let me see. 105. 105. No, this guy cannot do it. ChatGPT cannot do it. There's no way. I cannot do it, but ChatGPT also cannot do it. It's not correct again. Let me see if I just took the right thing, right? Difficulty minus 0.5 multiplied by 1 minus the ABS between player skill and 0.5, right? So it's saying skill 1, difficulty 0.5. Skill 1, difficulty 0.5. Adjust the difficulty will be lower than 0.5. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You are absolutely right. This guy continued to say that I'm right, and he's continuously giving me wrong formula forever. Okay, so GG. Cannot do it. He cannot do it. He cannot do it. I mean, I cannot do it, so I cannot blame him, right, too much, because I'm not able to do it myself. So multiply. This formula is identical to the one before. 0.5 difficulty. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same, and now he's pretending that it's different. It's exactly the same formula, and he's pretending that it's different. Oh no, wait. Did he change something between here and here? He's continuously switching the same thing, you know. So his reason he's trying. He's reasoning like me, right? He's just trying things, but he's not calculating things. He's just trying randomly. So now we are back to this formula, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Now we are back to that one. Well, it's similar. No, it's not exactly, but it's similar. So now he's putting the player skill first, right? Here. He's putting the player skill first. And then it's putting this here. Player skill 0.5. Player skill minus 0.5. Multiplied by 1 minus the difficulty. Exactly. Yeah, this one I think is exactly the same that we did above. But anyway. It's still not. And now he has the 0.5 here, right? So yeah, so it's not able to do it. He's not able to do it. Okay, so let me think about it myself, because it seems that this guy cannot do it. I mean, it's wrong again. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. I'm sorry. It's wrong again. Yeah, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. Don't try anymore. Don't try again. You cannot freaking do it. Exactly. You see there is stuff in red because it's broken. It's freaking broken. How did he change it again? Now he changed it even in a different. Now he tried a different version, which is probably. Let me see if it's this version. Yeah, it's this version. 1 minus. Yeah, this minus with the difficulty. Yeah. This is the first one that we tried. Yeah, it's continuously swapping between the same formulas now. Because this is player difficulty, this is player skill minus what? Fuck. Player skill minus difficulty. I think we tried this already. Player skill minus difficulty multiplied by 1 minus the ABS between difficulty and 0.5. Okay. No. Okay, I believe. Negative values. I don't know, it's fucked up. Okay, okay, let's try to solve it ourselves. I gave too much credit to this thing. So let's say that we just say, if the two values are the same, we use the same value with the same number. If the difficulty is greater than, so we have two separate formulas, right? So if the difficulty is greater than the skill, or if the skill is greater than the difficulty, right? So let's try to split the problem, because we cannot solve it with one formula. So if the skill is greater than the difficulty, skill, right, is greater than the difficulty. So I'm in this case, right? I'm in this case. The skill is greater than the difficulty. I want the difficulty to go down, which is what we achieved in this version, right? So in this version, the difficulty was properly going down here. The only problem is that it was not going down linearly, right? Because what? Because it is G12 minus. Uh, 0.5 minus. I'm still unsure why it's doing this. Fuck. If the difficulty, so if I do for values that are greater, right? If I do this divided by this, not the opposite. If I do this divided by this, why? Fuck. Right. So if I do this goes down linearly, right? This goes down linearly and this goes up linearly. The only problem is that it's too much. Because it's too much. So a division is too much, but it's pretty much giving us, you know, the right direction. So the division is, which is what we saw in the graph, right? So the division was giving us, was giving us the inversion exactly in the middle. And is also contained in the graph exactly, right? So the division looks like is the right map. The only problem is that the division is too strong. The division is too strong. And he has the middle point of 1 instead of 0.5, but that's not a big deal, right? So if I apply the same thing here, you see that he has a middle point of 1, okay? But you see that here, as I go up in difficulty with the same skill, the difficulty goes up, right? So actually the division, which was the first thing that I tried, right? is actually correct logically. It's just the scale that is insane, right? The scale is insane, right? The scale is insane. So how do I reduce this scale to be I mean, we can keep the midpoint of 1. I can just do minus 0.5 at the end, right? So that's fine. How do we have a scale of this which is less crazy? So if I do two, yeah, the problem is then it goes outside. As soon as I scale it, it goes outside, right? Can I if I do exponential 2, if I do exponential 2, that's even more aggressive. When I don't find the keys. If I do exponential 2, is even more aggressive, right? So we want to do the opposite. We want to do the opposite. We want to do exponential 0.2. And now, wait a second, just can I remove huh? Uh-oh, something fucked up. Okay. So if I do this though, I am completely fucking up my line. Because this line, right, this line, which is the magic line of the equal value, equal thing, is not working. Right? But I actually scaled it down significantly, but it's still wrong. Oh my god. I cannot solve this, guys, and it's midnight, unfortunately. So we spent like 2 hours trying to reason on this. Well, we did, at least we decided the values that we want. But yeah, how to factor the player skill, I think is a big deal, right? Because this will be a big deal. So we cannot do it wrong. We cannot do it wrong. But it seems that there is no perfect formula, actually. Because if I do this, right? I mean, this looks kind of correct to a certain extent, but then can I use the same numbers? Yeah, exactly, instead of being stupid and not using the same numbers. Because this looks kind of correct, right? It's just the scale that is wrong. So you see the magic line. This is the magic line, right? The magic line is actually correct. So if you have the same skill and the same difficulty, you get the same result, right? Which is good. So this magic line is correct, and horizontally, right, as the skill is lower than the difficulty, the difficulty goes up proportionally. So it's actually very good. So I mean, just dividing one by the other is exactly giving me what I want, with the only problem of scale, right? That this scale is going crazy if you have very low value or very high value, right? So if you go 0.05 and you multiply and you divide it, right? Exactly. So if I have 0.05, this will become completely crazy. So or we Or we clamp it, which may be a way, right? The only problem is that if you clamp it, then you limit yourself to only a certain range of skill. Or you multiply it and then you, I mean, because at the moment we are working from 0 to 1, and maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know, maybe we should work from 1 to 10. Because I think this effect is, but it is exactly what I want, right? It is exactly what I want. So imagine skill 200, difficulty 01, right? The difficulty becomes very small. Well, it's not smaller than 09, 01. Anyway, it stays super low, right? So which is okay. And the opposite is this guy, skill 01, difficulty 09, right? The only problem is that it becomes super high. What if I have from 1 to 10? Is there a paste formula only? Nice. If I have from 1 to 10, the result is exactly the same, because being a division, if I change both of them, the result is identical. Interesting. Yeah, obviously yes. So it doesn't change the problem. It's due to the scale. Yeah, I could. I guess yeah, I could. I think I can use this and clamp it. I think this is the only thing that I can come up with, right? So we use this, and then we clamp it or we scale it. Because basically, what I will have to do, I will have to, if this is 1, right? So what is the maximum and minimum? The problem is that if I go 0, right, it becomes a division by 0, so it's not even valid, right? If I go 0.01, that becomes 90. If I go 0.01, that becomes 900, right? So I have to think if I should clamp it or what. Okay, guys, sorry, I need to go. This was a bit of a hard session. But yeah, so I mean, we didn't really accomplish much, unfortunately, but at least we decided that we want these 3 parameters, right? So I think we have 4 with the player skill. So we decided we want to have the quality factor, the fish type factor, the weight factor, and that determines the final difficulty factor. I think this one is correct, actually. But then, how do we factor it with the player skill? That is something that I still need to figure out. I will think about it. And then I think also this part is okay. So yeah, actually we did a bit of work here, right? We did a bit of work here. This part I think is okay. And the one that we are missing is the max moves allowed, which is this one. And at the moment, this other part I will not change, right? So actually, yeah, I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking if I should just have the player skill as a bonus or malus to the rarity, right? And And then, because if my player skill is affecting only one of these parameters, like the fish type, and just giving you a boost, then I think it will be a bit simpler. But okay, I have to go. So thank you for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. I will think, hopefully tomorrow morning when I wake up, you know, my brain in the night will have processed something, and maybe I will have a solution. I don't know, but yeah, we need to decide that. If you have any idea on how to do it, it's a pure mathematical problem. It has nothing to do with programming or anything else. So if any one of you wants to reason on that, we need to understand how to factor the player skill, which goes from 0 to 200, but we can scale it to 0 to 1 into the final difficulty factor, right? And what is the proper formula to express that to still have a number that results in a 0 to 1, so that we can then drive the other parameters here of the game within that range, right? Like we are doing here. Okay. So with that, I think I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. Bye. See you. Bye-bye.